Everybody, my name is Doug Heineman, and I can't tell you what a pleasure it is for me to be here to try to, really try to just help out as much as possible. What I did was I created an organization called Jayobi, and what we're trying to do is help all of you find a J-O-B. And we've actually been taught the absolute worst things to do in job search, and it's put through our minds time and time again on what to do, but what we're being taught is completely wrong. And so that's why it's so frustrating for so many people. So I said, what we're going to do is erase all of that bad knowledge that's been spread and told to you for so many years and really get you on the right track of doing a correct job search.
The answer lies in analyzing the job market. Now, when we break it down into its components, you'll see the differences. The very first component that you're probably familiar with would be help wanted ads. And interestingly enough, if you were to aggregate every position on every website, every trade journal, every newspaper, every company website, in total, you're only looking at about 10% of the entire job market. So if you were solely relying on help wanted ads, you're only being considered for about 1 out of every 10 positions that are available. It's a reactive type of job search approach. And of course, you might say, well, wait a minute, I'm being very, very proactive here. In fact, I am spending 2 hours a day hitting these help wanted ads. But the reality is you're waiting for the companies to place the ad and then you're reacting to that marketplace. So it's a reactive approach, even though you're expending a lot of energy. And you're not the only one. In fact, the competition is the highest of all the different techniques. The average number of resumes received is about 800 per online ad. Now, if we look at recruiters, and that's another component, and like the help wanted ads, if you added up every position with every recruiter that's available, total, we're looking at about 10% of the entire job market. And like help wanted ads, it's a reactive approach because what you're doing is you're signing up with a recruiting firm. They're putting you into a file, and basically you're waiting for a company to contact that recruiter, hoping that they will select you. And your competition is going to be everybody else who is in that recruiter's file. Now that leaves the biggest portion of the marketplace, which is obtained through marketing yourself. And as you can imagine, it accounts for about 80% of the entire job market. Now, marketing is how companies promote or sell their products. And likewise, you want to implement a marketing type campaign for yourself to promote and sell you to a potential employer. There are 2 ways that you can market yourself, and also 2 ways that companies can market their products. The first technique is called network marketing, or in job search, most people just call it networking. Now, in the corporate arena, companies that use network marketing would be companies like Amway, for example. And what they do is they recruit members or a group of representatives, and then those representatives go out and talk to their friends, their family, their neighbors, and they try to recruit more people to become a part of the network marketing firm, like an Amway. So that's how Amway or those organizations sell their products, is through their membership. Now in job search, when you're doing networking, and interestingly enough, only about 5% of all job seekers actually obtain a position through networking. So it's the smallest portion of all the different techniques. It's a very, very proactive approach because you are actively going out and pursuing your friends, your family, going out and talking to people at Chamber of Commerce meetings and so on. But so you are being very proactive in the job search. The competition is very, very low because once again, you are starting this job search and going after the marketplace. It is extremely effective for those people who have good networking contacts, but unfortunately for most people, networking is usually very, very limited. And likewise, if you're looking at a network marketing firm like an Amway, there are some people who literally make $1 million a year selling through Amway. But the majority of people that sign up with a network marketing firm are not successful like that. And likewise, the majority of job seekers aren't successful using network marketing or networking type techniques as well. The last component is called strategic marketing. Now, companies that use strategic marketing would be companies like Apple or Procter & Gamble or Coke. Those companies don't rely on friends, family, neighbors, and meeting people to try to go out and promote and sell their products. They actually develop strategic marketing campaigns geared towards target markets and very, very actively execute them. That's how they sell their products. For yourself in doing job search, That actually, if you were to implement a strategic marketing type approach, you'll be pursuing about 75% of the entire market. It's actually the largest of all the different components. It's a very, very proactive campaign because, once again, you are going to be actively pursuing the marketplace itself as opposed to waiting for it to come to you. And the competition is very, very low. Of all the different techniques, it's actually the most successful for most people, yet interestingly enough, most people don't use it. So the question is, which piece of this pie is it that you want to pursue? And I think whenever you analyze this, the answer becomes pretty apparent. The secret to successful job search is actually strategic marketing.
Very first step in any sort of a marketing campaign is just to develop some sort of a marketing plan. So, when a company, whatever the product might be, you have to define the product. You have to define, okay, well, who is our target market? Who are we going to be promoting this, this item to? Likewise, that's going to be our very first step, is just starting to develop a plan together, where we have to, identify, okay, well, where are we now, and what is it that we're going to go after? What type of position are we going to go after? What are the demographics of these markets that we want to pursue? So once again, that's the very first step, is just to create a plan. And the next step in a marketing campaign is really to develop the selling tools that you might be using geared towards those target markets and in accordance to the plan. So if you're, and if you're marketing a product, a selling tool could be anything from a TV commercial, it could be a print ad, it could be a website, it could be a sales force. In job search, your selling tools are going to be resumes, they're going to be cover letters, they're going to be interviewing techniques, they're going to be telephone techniques, salary negotiations. Once you have all of your selling tools, once again, in accordance to the plan and geared towards each one of these targets that we're going to be pursuing, then you have to ask yourself the question, okay, well, in the plan, I identified that I want to go after target A, B, and C in my job search, but then we have to understand, well, who are the companies that fit target A? Who are the firms that fit target B? Who are the firms that fit target C? And that just calls for market research. Each one of these markets, and everything is total in accordance with your plan, then of course you need to contact them. So, then we're going to develop a campaign on how to contact all those organizations. What does that result in? Hopefully, interviews. It's an opportunity for you to actually go out and sell yourself. So, if it's a product, it would be basically like a product demonstration or, a product, sales presentation. In job search, it's, your interviews and going through that entire process. And then ultimately, that leads to success. So this is the framework of what we're going to be doing. And once again, going through step by step each one of these components and then very clearly formulating your strategy for each one of these items.
Now, for you to get started in your strategic marketing campaign, I've developed the Jayobi website to take you through step by step. So as you scroll down, you'll notice that there's Jayobi Step 1, developing your plan, Step 2, developing your resumes and cover letters, identifying employers, contacting them, and then ultimately interviewing and negotiation techniques. And as you're going through each of these steps, and of course you'll do them in order, but when you go to the, any of them, in fact I'm clicking here on the resumes and cover letters, you'll see a video that you can watch, which will be your video instruction. But as you scroll down, usually about halfway down the page, you'll notice a little green present. And I have on just about every page a Jayobi gift that will be relevant to that specific page. So in this case, when you click on it, there are sample resumes and cover letters that you can use. So let's get started so we can find your Jayobi.